Hello everyone, welcome to my second new tutorial thing, I guess, but we're gonna be looking over a few codes. Well, I've got this one here that I've used for quite a long time. What it does, it disables one object and enables another one. I really like to use this one for pretty much everything. And it has its own little custom tag, but of course for the player, it would just be used as player. But pretty much what I'm going to do is show you how you can use this code for benefits, I guess. And we're also going to be looking at another code with scene movement, which is just pretty simple. Now, I'm not one of the people who show you how to write the code. I just sort of sit here and let you copy and paste it. So you can just copy and paste it now, or you can go onto my website. Okay, now we're moving on to this code. Now, I don't know, I could say it took me a while, but I kind of just entered in random crap that I figured it out, but so all you do is say what we're going to have here is that we're going to have the rigid body here. Of course, if you want to get this, all you got to do is just go to the asset store and type in standard assets and where is it? Yeah, just type in standard assets and you should get the FPS character thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to run the character through this little green thing, or green cube, which is a trigger. Well, it's going to activate, it's going to shut these ones off and enable the other ones as I run by it. That's pretty much just going to show off how it does, or how it works, I guess. So the first thing you need to do if you want to use this code correctly, you simply just click on all the things you're going to use. Make sure to set to trigger. Make sure it also has a box collider. Now, all you do is you simply grab the code, set it into one of the cubes. So now we're just going to simply, no, it says off and on. You set something in the off, which is of course this red cube there, this one right here, and I go into other ones here and say turn this one on. Now when I simply walk the FPS character into it, it'll turn that one off and that one on. But that didn't work out well. What the heck? If you copied and pasted the code earlier in the video, don't, because I completely freaking screwed up. Let's see, I have a public game object on, and I could have set this one to be off, right? A normal person would have figured this code out, but I didn't go to college. Well, I'm screwed. Okay, so now I fixed it. So I would copy and paste the code now, like into C#, because I actually had both of these set to on and just turned both objects on, which would have got me nowhere. Well, now that that's fixed, I can hit play, simply walk back into it, and it disables this one and enables that one. Okay, now what I'm going to simply do, since I don't want to copy and paste every single one of these, I'm going to simply say delete and copy and paste every single one of these, so I don't gotta enter in that code again. Perfect. So now I just gotta select this, simply grab the second one there, tell that one to go off, and this might take a minute. Oh my gosh, okay. Now I should run through it, and of course it disables all the ones on this side and enables the ones on the other side. Now of course what you can also do is grab all the green cubes and simply just say turn off the mesh renderer. So just run towards the center, and all of the cubes from this side disable, all the cubes from this side enable. Now this code has many of uses. You could use it for cinematic purposes. You can also change the tag to whatever you want. It doesn't have to be player. You can also affect AI. You could set it to main camera, anything. You can reset it to anything. You can change the tag to anything you possibly need. It can also be used for cinematic purposes. It could be used for, like, all you gotta do is, for cinematic purposes, cameras, like, turn off, give the camera a box collider, and set it to make it sort of run into box collided things. I don't know. I'm gonna give another tutorial on that, because I do create some cinematic things with the most simplest of little code as possible. Sometimes it takes longer than when other people create cinematic stuff, but this code, the on and off code, can be pretty useful at some cases, because one of the games I'm creating called A Random Maze Game, I think. Alright, it's the game about mazes, kinda. And that game requires a lot of the code that I use here. Surprisingly, I use this code almost on every single one of the levels, at least on the troll levels, at least. And okay, so now we're going to move on to the second code, the moving scenes code, which is not really that complicated, really. So make sure to set your box or cube, whatever you're going to be using for this, to set it like, of course, make sure it's set to frick. Okay, make sure it's set to be a trigger, and to simply drag in the scene code. Now this one, all you have to do, I've got another scene here called Thing 2, which I'm bad at naming, so if I type in Thing 2, because it uses the freaking, I think it uses, I can't remember when I made, this is like one of my first codes I've ever made, so I forgot how I made it, but yeah, this is basically the code to move a scene. So now, also we got to go to build settings. If you have multiple scenes, you can drag in your first two scenes or whatever. Now when you hit play, you can walk over to that cube, and when my player collides with it, I enter in it, and poof, I move to the next scene. Now to make the scene 2 look more real, I guess, what I'm going to do is just create the most stupidest animation for the camera. Okay, now I've set up whatever the frick I just made. So now when you run into a cube, or you can also make this be a trigger, like a door maybe. Why is my camera jumping up and down? Okay, you can also set this to look like a door maybe, or something like that. So when I jump into it, now my camera will spin around like freaking crazy because of the animation, which I think is kind of funny, I guess. So yes, that's pretty much all this tutorial has. Now, of course, you can move back and forth in between all sorts of levels. These two codes can create a freaking game. I'm not kidding you. But I use this code a lot, so I kind of figured why not make a quick little tutorial on how to use it. Also, if you have any questions or ideas you want to give me to do a tutorial on, because I've got quite a good chunk of random codes sitting in my folders, and I would love to teach anyone to do those. Or more like just show you how they work, then you can just copy and paste them, because I'm too lazy to type it in again and talk about it. So, if this sort of helped you, I guess, well, make sure to never leave a like, because I don't really think this channel will ever do anything good.